Get ready because this one's going off the rails. It's Kenny Barlow from Armscor and Rock Island Armory. He's one of my good buddies in the gun industry. He goes by many names: Flat Brim Kenny, Kenny Fresh. He's a fun guy. You're going to enjoy this one. This Gun Talk Nation is brought to you by ATN Optics, SIG Sauer, and EOTECH. All right, welcome into Gun Talk Nation. Another week of gun talk debauchery. It's kind of like gun talk radio, but with less gun knowledge and more talky talks. Today on the show, good buddy, a favorite of most people who meet him, Kenny Barlow. Kenny, are you there?
Oh, I didn't see you there. How are you, my friend?
What book you got there, buddy?
Oh, Fishing and Boating in Louisiana by Gresham.
Oh, that's a good one. A classic.
Big fan of the Greshams. I love gun talk. Tom is amazing. Have you met Tom? Tom's amazing, isn't he?
I've met him. Sometimes he hangs out here.
Oh, that must be awesome. Must be awesome.
It's special. Is that a first edition?
I assume so. I should check with the guy that sent it to me. Is this a first edition?
Your hat. I appreciate when our guests pimp our merch for us.
That's what it's shameless. That's what I'm here for.
So Kenny, you and I have been buddies for a while. Kenny's been in the biz or the industry. I always like it when people say the industry, when people in the gun industry know that there are other industries, right? They're like, oh yeah, he's in the industry. I'm like, which industry would that be?
the one that we're in.
Yeah. He's in the industry, the only one, the
only one that matters, since I'm not in those other ones.
In your spare time, you also work for Armscor and Rock Island Armory.
That is correct. Yeah.
You hadn't gotten fired today, right?
No, not I. Well, I mean, Martin did call me earlier, and there was no firings at that moment. So,
all right, well, cool. I mean, we'll see what we
fingers
can do on
crossed.
This podcast.
You know what I mean?
So,
perfect.
And what would you say that you do there, Kenny?
I am the director of national accounts and OEM firearms sales.
Sales guy.
Yeah.
He's all about the relationships.
Yeah, man.
Dude, how did it's funny because in the industry, we all kind of end up this is what happens. We end up traveling to these different events every single year. It's NRA show. People know about SHOT Show. Some people know about the NASGW show, which is kind of an inside industry thing, but we all end up kind of hanging out at these different things and meeting each other. And you and I met, I don't know how long ago, maybe almost 8-10 years ago, but you were with North American Arms, those little tiny mini revolvers then. Was that your first gig in this gun world?
It was, yeah. I started at North American Arms in 2006.
And I mean, because you came from, you weren't doing guns before that. I mean, what were you thinking when you were like, oh, I'm going to go work at a gun company?
I was very excited, actually. I was, I was definitely, from an attitude perspective, I was definitely pro gun. But but it was sort of like, I think I only owned a 1911 at the time.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, yeah, I'm a gun guy. Sure. And then 16 years later, I am a gun guy, which is crazy. It's kind of how it always works. But yeah, no, I answered an ad in the local newspaper.
Really?
Yeah.
The want ads.
Yeah. The want ads. I was looking for a new gig and I was like, well, this seems interesting, and sent my resume over and wowed the powers that be there, and the rest is history.
It's not a boring industry. I mean, like, you think about things that you could sell or things that you're doing. And like, I literally met with a guy from a bug, a service for bug removal for this new building. And I'm like, think about that. Like, you're literally selling, like, we'll kill the spiders and roaches. I mean, it's not as fun.
No, there are certainly other industries I'm glad I'm not in. No disrespect to the hardworking men and women in those other industries that make sure that your facilities are bug free and roach free. Yeah. But I appreciate my pest guy too. So
yeah. So what you been up to, man? What's new in the world of Rock Island Armory, Armscor? I mean, all these names that it's hard to keep track of and figure out who does what and what does who over there.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, Armscor USA is the big brand, and underneath that is our umbrellas, the Rock Island Armory, the Armscor cartridge, which is our ammo. RIA USA is our newest foray, which is our manufacturing facility in Cedar City, Utah. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, Cedar City, Utah. And then RIA Imports has just been the traditional things that we've been, the Rock Island Armory 1911s that we brought in from the Philippines forever. And then the import stuff from the shotguns from Turkey.
Is that what you guys would say you're best known for, is the 1911s?
Oh yeah, that's been the thing that the Philippine side of the business has been doing for decades.
Yeah. What is it that people, I mean, because you hear people, you guys have fans, and I mean, especially of the 1911s, because you're so well known there. What is it that people like about them? What do you hear feedback from customers?
Tradition, quality, affordability.
Yeah.
Are the three things they appreciate our respect for the 1911 tradition, but then our ability to produce them cost effectively and get them on the market as such, and their reliability.
You know what I also like is, like, we've had Martin on the show before and stuff, and like Martin and that whole crew, they're all super into guns. Like, I know that he's got a family history with this, but it's not like, oh yeah, I've got this company that does ammo and guns and stuff. Like, they are shooters. They're like super into it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You won't find a more pro 2A absolutist type of person than the founders and owners of Armscor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin shoots 3-gun and all that, or has in the past. And yeah, he loves shooting competition, and yeah.
So let's talk about the Total Metal. Am I saying that right?
TM22.
TM22.
Yeah, one of our new offerings. Total Metal. Yeah, everything down to the magazine.
Is that one out yet, or did I just mess that up?
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's available now. Absolutely. No, you're good. Yeah, it's available now.
Breaking news on Gun Talk.
Scoop. I've been scooped. I'm gonna have to call Martin after this. Yeah, the TM22 is on the market now, shipping. The TM stands for Total Metal. It's 22 rifle. Another one of those value things where pricing is exceptional for what you get. I mean, it's available in 18 and 20-inch barrels, threaded barrels, pick rails, all the bells and whistles that you'd want on a 22 rifle. That's sort of tactical, but for a reasonable cost.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves a 22. I mean, something that's semi-auto, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's what are the mag sizes? What do they hold? Do you remember?
There is if I remember correctly, hold on. There's 3 of them. There's gonna be 10, 15, and 25 round. Man, you got me. Yeah. Sorry, 10, 15, and 25 rounders. Yeah.
And Kenny, what is the origin of the metal in that? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, it's a mine in the mountains of Turkey, a beautiful land full of rich culture and beautiful people.
I visit there and deliver coffee to them quarterly.
Right. But yeah, no, it's a fun gun. I would think we were at a shoot recently where you got to shoot it.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. It was so funny seeing. Look, guys, when I see Kenny, it's always like we don't really plan this, but I see him like we're at like NRA show, and we didn't have a meeting set up or anything. Okay, this is not official business. This is just I go into the booth, and like an hour and 15 minutes later, I'm like, I probably should go like do work or something. Like, we're just sitting there talking. I was telling Kenny, I was telling Benjamin, our producer over here, before I got on, about our back and forth on our background in being phenomenal college radio DJs.
That's right. The bulk of our texts for the last 6 months have just been fictitious air checks.
Yes.
Texted between each other.
I mean, if you're listening to this, I'm hoping you are familiar with college radio, because it's a bastion of mediocrity and kind of mediocre music, mediocre DJs.
Oh, mediocre. Are you kidding me?
No, it's great music.
Yeah, there was nothing.
The station I worked at KLSU, the LSU radio station,
The voice of the
and
Tigers, I'm sure.
the voice of the Tigers, kind of, maybe.
I guess.
And what were we called? We were called the Original Alternative. Well, when we were there, we were the only like alt rock radio station in Baton Rouge. So we actually had like a pretty good audience. It was
Sure.
run like a radio station. So, you know, we'd play some cool stuff like, you know, Soul Coughing or Dido. We really rock some Dido.
The transition from Super Bon Bon into Thank You was
Yes,
really smooth. I'm
exactly.
sure it was perfect.
That was Soul Coughing with Super Bon Bon. Now up next is Ben Folds 5 with Brick.
You can see Ben Folds 5 this weekend at the Palladium.
That's right. Opening up for Ben Folds is a little known guy named Gavin DeGraw. He's an up and comer. Both piano guys.
Yeah, I think we talk about music more than we ever talk about guns. Whenever, like,
Yes.
anytime we talk.
Yes.
Mostly because I have mad respect for your drumming skills. And stupid, like, it's weird. Like, it'll be questions relating to 90s music, 90s alternative music, and drumming. I remember asking you once about the drums on a Smashing Pumpkins song. And
Yeah.
So
Jimmy Chamberlain, drummer for Smashing Pumpkins.
Amazing drummer, yeah.
Classic, like, jazz trained drummer he's a great drummer. Listen to some of the licks he plays. It was ridiculous. But he's also one of those like giant dudes with like giant wingspan, kind of like Danny Carey from Tool. People are like, when you listen to what he's doing, you're like, this is amazing. When you watch what he's doing, it almost it sounds great, but it looks less spectacular because he's like a octopus with these giant arms. And it kind of looks like he could be taking a nap while he's doing all this stuff.
Yeah. There's not a lot of move. Like it's the distance from here to there is not the throw. Yeah,
he doesn't have to reach out like dramatically
right.
and hit his cymbals. It's just kind of like he can almost T-Rex arm it. And exactly. It's just fine. It's no big deal.
I'm curious. I am curious if those guys, because I've come across a couple of videos of them now, like in their maturity, be it like playing some of those original songs. I wonder how, if as a musician they get to the point where it's like I got to do this again, or it's just muscle memory, so he doesn't really care. Like it's just like he's somewhere else up here. I got to pay this bill. I got to remember to call my mom, and the song's over. And
look. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
It's not hard work. Being a musician's not hard. That's what it sounds like you're about to tell me.
If you've played these songs for 10 years or 15 years, like, you know, the parts, like, I mean, it still could be fun because playing drums certainly is fun. But like, have I played gigs where I'm watching the TV in the bar, watching the game? Perhaps I have. Yes. Oh, they scored a touchdown. Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. What's the score?
Yeah.
Tigers are up. Awesome.
Yeah. And also when you're up there, especially like as a drummer, a lot of times you're on a riser raised up. You get the viewpoint of everything unfolding in the bar with like the stories over the night. Like, I've seen this guy trying to hit on this group of girls for the last hour. It's not going well. Wait, that girl's getting drunk. I think he may have a chance. Oh, wait, he's dancing with one of them. Oh, here comes another guy. I wonder who that guy is. Is that her boyfriend? Is that the groom that's coming to the bachelor party? What's happening here? Oh, it's a fight. Yep. That was her boyfriend. Yep. You just keep playing.
You're keeping the beat for the fight going on. You're like that band, and you're like the band in Roadhouse at that point. That's awesome.
Yeah. I had a buddy who played in a band that one of the guys was in the Army, and they were playing at an Army base bar. And so like an Army base bar, like just fights break out all the time. And so the fight breaks out.
I didn't. No.
18-year-old, a bunch of 18-year-old dudes.
All that testosterone in one place. Impossible.
Anyway, the fight breaks out, and the guitar player, who's the Army guy, yells back to the bass player and drummer rhythm section, goes, keep playing, and then jumps off stage and starts fighting. They just dung 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 dung, and he jumps back on stage and then jumps back into the song.
Oh yeah, that dude's an American hero.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Stud.
Seriously, I want to be that guy when I grow up.
Oh, so is this show called Gun Talk? Gun
I
Talk
guess.
Nation?
I mean,
I don't
yeah,
know.
no, whatever you
Gosh.
want. Listen, we can talk about whatever you want to
All
talk
right.
about. Gun dudes
I
talking.
like going random places. All right. So quick break. After the break, we're gonna talk about some gun stuff. You know ATN optics, thermal, night vision, and a lot of other high-tech optics products. Well, they have a hunting season special going on right now. The X-Sight 4K Pro, the Thor 4, the Thor LT, the OTS LT, which is their handheld thermal. And when you buy these, you can get free gifts. Gifts like Ear Pro, Yeti cups, you get free bags, you get mounting systems. So go check them out over at atncorp.com. Springfield Armory has a bullpup and it's making some waves. People are talking about this one. It's called the Hellion, and it is the Hellion rifle, 16-inch barrel, and of course a bullpup is a configuration that makes the gun much smaller. It's only 28.25 inches long. It is a 5.56, and it's got a lot of versatility. You can adjust it to eject right or left, and the charging handle you can adjust either way. So it's fairly ambidextrous. Comes from a military pedigree. The VHS2 bullpup, which was an internationally known gun being used all over the place. Obviously, Picatinny rail, integrated flip-up sights, BCM Gunfighter Mod 3 grip, and it does actually run with regular AR style mags, which I like that. Check it out at springfield-armory.com. So Kenny, one of the things that you get to do is you travel around in this job and previous roles, and you'd like demo products to people, right? Is that like at ranges?
Yeah, various shoots and whatever. Yeah.
So you get to deal with the public and sometimes, people who are like, maybe they know stuff, maybe they don't. You've seen some stuff at these ranges with people shooting weird, unsafely. I mean,
it's been known to happen. It's been known to happen.
What kind of stuff?
I listen. I won't. I mean, there's some things that have happened. I've seen things like that speech in Blade Runner. I've seen things you wouldn't believe. But there's just some of the things I find funny, not necessarily specifically any real thing I've witnessed, or like a specific instance I witnessed, but things that I've noticed people do. It is funny to watch new shooters, especially influencer shoots. I know you've been to influencer shoots. They're great. They're great events for business, and they're great events for people watching.
Yes.
And it's been interesting in the last couple of years with the pandemic and everybody being locked down and then coming back out. Streaming and all that kind of thing has really piqued a lot of people's interest. These amateur YouTube channels have popped up and all of that. And so you're starting to see, when you go to influencer shoots before, you would see like the traditional, there's been people you've followed forever, Mr. Guns and Gear and Such and all those guys who I love tremendously. They're great
people
dudes.
Who are like gun enthusiasts and somewhat gun experts.
And then you see these guys with new channels, and the way they carry themselves is completely different. It's really funny that from little things, and you could think I'm a jerk for thinking this way, but just like from shooting stance on up, because like, you're really gonna stand like that? Why are you not leaning? Why are you leaning back? I don't understand why you're leaning back and not leaning. Yeah, it's the standing up straight. And I'm not a good shooter, but I know how to shoot.
There's sort of a right way and a wrong way.
Yeah.
There's many ways, but there's definitely a wrong way.
Yeah. So standing up, especially when full auto is in play.
Oh boy.
Right. So like standing straight up, and even kind of like they'll have the rifle
almost on your heels.
Yeah, but they were kind of like back, like their back kind of comes from their waist, kind of comes like at a curve back, and they're like, this is fine. And then just completely unload a magazine, and then just watch them fall over the place is one of my favorite things, and scariest, obviously, because
that's when you start moving really close to them. Like, oh boy, okay.
So when you see, when you're at the range and you see someone like a trained, someone like in my position that's trained to do this correctly, or knows how to to carry themselves safely, or because it's not just safety for you, it's for safety for others too, right? Like,
Sure, absolutely.
One of my favorite moves that you'll see them in videos, especially fully auto, is the guy will give them the gun, they'll get us set up, walk them through it, and then stand behind them and put their hand on their back.
Yeah,
because they know what's coming.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a big, so if you ever see that little behind the curtain, that's what that is. That's I'm just going to make sure that this gun stays forward and that you don't come flying back.
Shooting into the ceiling of a indoor range or whatever it is.
Sure. I've witnessed that as well.
Yep. I like the influencer who we're at a shoot and she would not shoot in front of anyone else. She would wait till people would like kind of stop paying attention, and then she would do a little shooting with the guy who's filming her. But if you were standing there like behind her, like maybe you're waiting to shoot the gun she's like, no, I'm good. You guys go ahead. And she would wait till everybody kind of moves on until she's shooting in front of people. She didn't want to shoot in front of people. Or the guy. No, she didn't want you to see. Or the guy, like the newer influencer who has an entourage of like a guy with several women. And I'm like, I don't know. How does that work? Like you're a YouTube guy, but you have an entourage. Like you're not Tom Cruise. You're not, I don't know. It's crazy to me.
It is shocking the amount of people that will come thinking they are the Tom Cruise of the gun industry. Yeah. It's, I guess I can't say shocking anymore. Like if you're an outsider, it would be like, we've seen it all now. But yeah, it's the woman that wouldn't shoot in front of others. I've never witnessed that, but I almost like, I feel for her because what that tells me is that her experience of shooting around people has not been probably positive.
Yeah.
So there's a lack of people like encouragement and making sure that she knows what she's doing so that she's comfortable and doesn't, unless it's just one of those things where it's got to be perfect and no one should be around kind of a thing. Like,
I guess I got the impression like she didn't feel very confident in her shooting ability, but here's my problem with that. You're a gun influencer.
Oh, fair enough.
Like you probably should know how to shoot a gun. I'm not saying you have to know everything about everything. I don't know everything about everything, but like, you got to be willing to just stand up there and shoot with people watching instead of like, I'm not sure what my roop's going to look like. I'm not sure if I can handle the recoil. No,
right.
Now, Kenny, though, or there's the, I love me some me guy. I love me some me.
I love me some me. What's the product? Me.
That's right. Yes. Well, if you think about it, it's all based around like an individual, right? It's that individual personality.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, the
ego.
channel, a lot of times the channel is their name. Like, it's not like,
right.
There are channels out there that are like guns, gun world or something like that, or whatever it is, gun talk. But like, but when it's like, it's the Ryan Gresham YouTube channel or something like that, it'd be like, well, that's what it is. It's all about me.
Those are good. Yeah. I was having I was thinking about it when I just came back from an influencer shoot, and I was thinking about like some of these guys that started a decade ago, like early days of YouTube. And it was one of these things where their handles were either ported over from earlier internet days, right? So like their AOL handles or whatever are now their YouTube channel names. So they're kind of stuck with them. Like, for example, I love Eric from Iraq Veteran 8888.
Yeah.
888888.
I know. I'm like Iraq Vet 88888888. I don't know.
So yeah, so I'm curious if those were those, like, I don't know where the name comes from. I'm sure obviously I know where the first part comes from, but I'm curious if some of these handles where it's like a weird name, like a nickname, and then a bunch of numbers, and then that's a thing. Fast forward 15 years later, I've got to squeeze in all these this word and bunch of numbers.
Yeah, it's probably one of those things that, like, at the time it was probably not a very good screen name, but if you stick with it long enough, maybe it's just like, oh yeah, that's Iraq Vet 888888. Is it 4 8s or 3? Is it 5? I don't know.
For the record, it's 4. But yeah, no, I love
Eric's gonna ping me and be like, dude,
what the I didn't see you out there, by the way. I was expecting to see you guys,
but I haven't been to that shoot. I don't even, I hear about it, but I've never been. It looks fun, but it looks a little Wild West to me. Like
It's
a lot of guns going off in directions, and I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just what it looks like. Where is it? Are there like a lot of safety protocols, or just grab a gun and walk up there and
well, I mean,
drop the hammer?
there's the range that it's held at. I mean, it's safe. I mean, there's an awful lot of full auto that goes on there.
Mhm.
So it's a there's a constant barrage of noise, but no, like you can be up on the line. They've kind of got a scenario where, I mean, you've only got so much room at this range, and so they've created scenarios such that you can walk. There's safety briefings and all of that. And it's like, hey, if you're on the back and you've got stuff that you want to try at the line, put a table up on the line, you know, those kinds of things. And so they've made it such that you're not necessarily restricted to how they have it set up.
That's good.
With the tents and the booths, they've set it up so that you can have stuff up on the line. And you know, it's but a lot of full auto, a lot of cool stuff. I shot my first Mac 10 there.
Ooh, how'd you like that?
It was very cool, very different. I've never shot a weapon that uses that open bolt configuration.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that it's that you feel the click of the trigger.
Yeah.
And then there's just a very slight pause before the round discharges.
Yeah.
So it's very, because you got to wait for that bolt to close before it shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, lots of cool stuff there. They put on a good event.
You shot it like handgun style, or like?
No, it was all SMG'd out. So
okay.
it had a little stock on it, and
okay.
I leaned in, got a guy's hand on my back. It was perfect.
I've had that too. When they're like, and I mean, look, I'm not, you know, SEAL Team Delta or anything like that. But when they put the hand on my back, and I'm thinking, I'll be okay, guy. It's not full auto 50 cal. I mean, this is just it's an M4 or something like. Well, also what happens is, if you've never shot full auto, I think my understanding is kind of what you're sort of supposed to do if you're actually trying to hit something is you're supposed to burst it, right? You're supposed to go brr, 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 and you kind of pull the trigger. Now it is fun to just drop the whole mag and just hold the trigger back, but it's harder to control it. And that's probably why they're like, okay, hand on the back. Because if this guy just mag dumps,
exactly, that's what they're
by round 20 through 30, it's gonna be 45 degrees in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I mean, the logic just dictates that the bursting makes the most sense. Just because of the control factor. But you know, I've been known to do a mag dump as well, and just to get the feel of it. But you know, you do it once or twice and you're like, oh, all right. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
So that's so I'll light $15 on fire next time. It'll be that's basically the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually filming on Tuesday in Alabama, and they had a full auto lower. So it was like, well, yeah, let's throw on that and do some full auto. It's always fun for video. And it's super fun. But like, there was the camera guy that was with me. He's like a kind of recently got into guns, maybe a few years back. And I said, you ever shot a full auto? He goes, no. I said, shoot it. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And I'm like, it is awesome. But then the more you do it, the more it's like you're saying, you're like, I guess we're just burning ammo. Like, I'm not sure what the purpose is. Like, I'm not sure if I'm hitting things. I'm just spraying.
Exactly. Yeah, that's yeah. I'm not to say that it stops being fun. It's just my interest in shooting diverse types of weapons has after you know, you go to a couple of these and you shoot full auto and you're like, this is very cool. But then when people bring historic weapons or something that's brand new, or there's really great innovation in the industry right now on a micro level, you know, like small things like muzzle devices.
Yep.
I saw at the last shoot I was at, I saw this company that does amazing manufacturing, great machine work, but they make these muzzle devices, and the ability of this muzzle device to tame a 300 Winchester.
Yeah, 300 Win Mag.
yeah, was insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they were handing it to the smallest people they could find and be like, shoot this rifle, no problems. You
It
know,
is
they were
amazing. I agree with you. And you also, I'm kind of in my past, I've kind of been like a stock guy, like drive a stock car, shoot a stock gun. What's the wrong with it? The manufacturer knows what they're doing. It's fine. And even though it's fine, I've kind of come around to like, yeah, but like the aftermarket stereo in your car is better than the one it came with, even if it didn't come with a bad stereo. It's like a better trigger is a better trigger. And muzzle devices will make you look like a rock star when you're shooting. When they work, you're like, yeah, look at me. I'm shooting so flat. I'm so awesome at this.
right. Yeah.
I just, yeah, I've had some experiences late in the last few years with it. It's just amazing. Kenny, after the quick break, I want to find out your favorite guns and that you guys are doing these days that you've been playing with. New from EOTech is the eFlex Mini Red Dot sight. Yeah, EOTech is known for their holographic sights, but this is kind of their first foray into traditional red dot sights. It has a large field of view. It's a large rectangular window, allowing users to see more, aiding in improved situational awareness like that on pistols or shotguns or rifles. It's super rugged. Everything that EOTech does is very rugged. A top-loading battery makes it user-friendly, quick acquisition, and crystal clear glass, which is one of the things they really talk about is you doesn't get color distortion when looking through this. So you can find out more at eotechinc.com. Go check out the new eFlex Mini. SIG Sauer Custom Work Studios, they've really changed the game with stuff. And this fire control unit, their FCU, they've got it for the P320, they've got it for the P365, and the fire control unit is the gun part, air quotes, right? But really you can build the grip, the frame, everything around it, and you can really customize it. So now you just go to sigsauer.com, you go to the Custom Works Studio, and you can build the gun from there. Anything you want it to be and really customize it, and it's pretty neat. So check it out over at sigsauer.com. So Armscor, Rock Island Armory, you guys do a bunch of different things. I mean, the guns, the variety is, I mean, it's a lot. The TAC, the TCM, the Rock, the GI, the BBR, the XT, the MAP, the Pro, the STK 100 revolvers. And then we have shotguns, semi-autos, pumps, the VR series. Do you have a favorite?
In the handguns, yeah. Oh, absolutely. In the handguns, it's the TAC Ultra high capacity 9. It's fun. That's one of the ones that I requested as a sales sample because I love bringing it to shoots. And on the OEM side, I like to, because one of my jobs is to demonstrate our capability and sell excess capacity and make stuff for other people. So I like that. I use that one as an example of how intricate we can make product. So it demos the 1911 style, but it also demos the fact that it's a 9 and then it's double stack and all that. So, but boy, is it fun. And it is a tack driver right out of the box.
Double stack 1911 9mm. Probably one of the more fun guns as far as pistols to shoot. No
Without
recoil.
question.
Is that a bull barrel?
Yes.
Yeah. Adding weight out front. And what about the STK 100? Because that was a new one for you guys, last year?
Correct. Yeah, that was it's our first foray into striker fire. So obviously, we've been doing 1911s forever, and we decided to apply our manufacturing knowledge of 1911s to a striker fire pistol. So that's the STK. It's a 9mm, takes Glock mags, striker fired, but it's got 1911 grip angle. It's an aluminum lower.
We should say that it's not a polymer gun.
Right. Correct. Yeah. It's a metal frame. Yeah. It's you'd be surprised the way that changes the dynamic. Well, I mean, I know you wouldn't be because you've shot it, but I mean, the customer would be an average customer would be amazed at the way it changes. It just shifts ever so slightly the dynamic of shooting a striker fire pistol.
Yeah, an all metal gun has a different feel in recoil. I mean, it's not necessarily a weight thing. I mean, certainly a heavier gun is going to feel different than a lighter gun, but it's like a rigidity thing.
Yeah.
Kind of the way I'd try to describe it. What about, I was looking at your website and all the different stuff you guys are up to. Is there anything on the ammo side that's kind of updated or things that people would be interested in to hearing about? I mean, one thing is just ammo being available.
Yeah, production, delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we had the same problems as everybody else during the pandemic with supply chain and all of that. And so I'm sure anybody who goes into a store nowadays will be delighted to see that there is a lot more availability of our ammo on the shelves, which that's the best news I can deliver on the ammo front. I mean, we're making various, all the mixed caliber stuff, all the rifle calibers, everything that you need. But the fact that it's available again and shipping is really making customers happy.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I don't really care about your new ammo. Just make it. Just make lots of 9 and 223
Right.
and 22. So you guys have this new facility in Cedar City, Utah. What is that facility for? What are you making there?
Okay, so that's to allow us to start making to exercising our muscles, in terms of manufacturing in the States, but also to help us manufacture some of the stuff that we can import. So it allows us to get more fun. Like, it's easy to import a shotgun or a pistol, but some things are not importable. So it allows us to kind of play with those things, more fun things that the government says, oh, you can't have that made somewhere else.
I don't even know if there's a short explanation for the weird, crazy rules that you guys have to go through on what can be imported and what can't be imported, because I'm not sure if the hobbyist gun person even understands, like, well, whatever, just bring it in. Like, no, there's a scorecard, there's features, there's
the sporting purposes. That's that's the biggest term they use. So they say that, oh, you have to have meets a sporting purpose definition to import it. And to meet that definition, there's the scorecard. Does it have X? Does it have Y? Are these features available or not? And you get a point value assigned to it. And if you don't meet the point value you need to import, then that gun doesn't have a sporting purpose and you can't import it.
I have this vision of, like, have you ever watched the Westminster Dog Show, where like the dog is standing there really rigid and the guy's walking around and checking his gums and his tail, and like, what does that even mean? A sporting purpose? Like, hunting is a sport. You can hunt with any gun. Target shooting is a sport, but certain features aren't sporting.
Yeah, I mean, don't ask me. It's the government has set these very rigorous standards.
I'm not blaming Kenny.
Yes, no, as sporting purpose is what the feds say it is. But they make arguments like, oh, it's the barrel shorter, that doesn't have a sporting purpose. If it's a pistol, a small 5-shot mini revolver doesn't have a sporting purpose, so therefore you can't you can't make those other places and have them imported. So stuff like that. Again, I think that these are laws that were crafted by people who don't know anything. And
sure.
And it's such a time. I mean, the industry has evolved. The industry has evolved so much in the last, even in my tenure, since 2006, we've evolved into, there's so many different reasons that people are gun enthusiasts now.
Oh, for sure.
And markets cater to all of them, like to the 3-gun gotten big, handgun technology, like just people just trying to be like, where, how can we elevate this? How can we just singularly take this to the next level? There are just people that are pushing those boundaries all the time in terms of engineering and ingenuity and manufacturing ability. So they've been able to it's become such a big tent. Gun enthusiasm has become such a big tent, and man, add 3D printing and home manufacturing into it, and that's another dynamic. And that's, I think, what you're seeing with these laws now, these ghost gun laws, is that they're trying desperately, people who know nothing and don't want to learn are trying desperately to react to something they don't understand.
They have no desire to understand it, but we definitely need to regulate it in some way, shape, or form. But I'm not really sure. I always say this, and they probably heard me say it. It's like it'd be like me explaining to heart surgeons what they should be doing in heart surgery. And if someone was like, would you like maybe perhaps to have a consultant that's an expert in this field? No, nope. I have very strong opinions about what needs to happen with the aorta. And what's your background?
It's all based on how you feel. Your opinions on the aorta. You're like, that scalpel, that instrument right there is scary looking. I don't like that it has a grip on it. So I would prefer,
just too big. Yeah. It's too big. You shouldn't.
Why would anybody need a scalpel that big?
Yeah. And they're like, it's just crazy, dude. All right. So this is how we're going to end this.
Okay.
We're going to have you give us an air check. Take us back to the mid-90s. Because that's what Kenny and I do with our spare time, is make up air check, radio air check about silly bands from the 90s. So,
all right.
Did you have a DJ name, by the way?
No, not at all. I've developed one. DJ Kenny Fresh is my in my 40s DJ name, because I'm desperately trying to hang on.
Playing house parties.
Exactly. Yeah, when I DJ house parties, or weddings and bar mitzvahs.
Yeah.
But no, didn't have. What did you have one?
Yeah, it was Mr. G, and it was Mr. G. And when I hosted the morning drive, we had a series of promos for Mr. G in the morning drive. And one of them was.
I have a question about that. Were you a wacky zoo crew?
I was with
sound effects and a stunt boy?
Hey-oh, the cowbell.
Exactly.
We had.
Did you throw it out to stunt boys doing stuff?
We had a news girl, and we had a traffic
Albertsons
person and all that stuff. But yeah, the promo would say, tune in Monday through Friday, 6 to 9. Wake up with Mr. G. Why not? Everyone else has. Because college humor.
That's true. Yeah, it's because college radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was, in the era of what is it, Howard and all that. You were quite shock jock-esque. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And Opie and Anthony, is that right? That's one of them.
Man, I loved Opie and Anthony. That was great.
All right, so take us back. What's happening this weekend in town? What are we hearing?
Oh, okay. Okay, so if I were to do it, it'd be like, okay, we're coming out of a song. It'd be something like, that was 311's All Mixed Up. You can see them this weekend with Incubus at Club Vortex in Salt Lake City on 6th Street. Now here's Cake with The Distance.
Yes. Caller 7, call in, you'll win tickets.
Oh, yes, I should have thrown in the caller 7. Dang it.
It's always caller 7.
There's always, when you're announcing a concert, you've always got tickets and you got to give them away during the next song.
That's it. Yeah, Soul Coughing will be at the Brew House on Thursday night with Rusted Root.
I would see that show now. You have no idea.
Sorry, I'm aware. All right, man. This is fun. Thanks for making always a time.
Blast. Hey, my pleasure.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and you probably didn't learn anything, but that's it for us. We'll see you next time on Gun Talk Nation.